just here, me and my brother G. How you feeling today, man?
Hey man, Shabbat Shalom, Aki. I'm well.
Shabbat Shalom. Always ready to pull the trigger.
That was not
and be corrective.
That wasn't even a trigger, bro.
Y'all caught that on camera. Appreciate it. I got witnesses. We'll be out and I'll throw a shot and people look at me like I'm just a perpetual shot thrower when usually it's you.
I have to disagree with that. Everybody knows.
Of course, that's another shot.
Who's around us on a regular basis know who the habitual line stepper is.
I guess I'll be the line stepper and you the habitual shot thrower.
You always got your moccasins on, Doc. Hey, shalom, family.
Yeah, man. We just here at the house. We just finished the Sabbath and we're just having a nice little glass of champagne, chilling. I thought that it would be kind of cool to go back over and share some of the things that we discussed in class today.
Kane.
In class, we kind of dealt with, we started in Proverbs, just encouraging our sons to really be aware of the trials and the things that they face as young men, and to be on guard.
Yes.
Because there's so many distractions out there.
Mm-hmm.
What was some of the advice that you gave, and also you give to your sons, because you got young teenagers, to kind of help them stay in the right frame of mind?
One of the things is being able to value not only what I say and what their mother say, but also value the men that we have around him, surrounding him with, such as yourself, the elders that I've submitted myself to. Be ready to hear, but at any time though, my word is stronger than all of them.
That's right.
And they understand that. But more so just listening to direction. That'll prevent you from falling into a lot of pitfalls that this world already has set up for you.
And like we saw, like all throughout Proverbs, just start at chapter 1, go to chapter 9. You'll see so many times where a father is encouraging his son, listen to my commandments, heed to my laws, listen to the law of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, there was a certain weight that had to be given to the word of the father, which was communicating to his son the oracles of the Most High.
Yes.
In so many words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because children are not born with this direct relationship with the Creator.
Not at all.
That's introduced to them and refined by their father. So how have you been able to ensure that there hasn't been these other voices that compete with yours?
Ensure that
can you turn your phone off?
Yeah, is that a distraction?
Yeah, we heard it. That was.
Okay.
We trying to be.
Excuse me.
Excuse me,
family.
We're trying to be professional, man. Please.
You see.
Where am I? Where can I get some help, please? This guy. What's this? What's going on?
What was the question again?
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
What was the question again?
Action. So welcome back, you guys. The question was, how have you been able to communicate to your sons the same message that Solomon communicated to his sons, the need to follow the wisdom of his fathers? Now we know that Solomon did not write all the Proverbs, so
correct.
For those that say, oh, he didn't write them all, that's fine. But he is regarded as the one that was the head of this wisdom tradition.
Yes.
That has some of the most profound writings and deepest, richest understanding given by the Most High, up until the time that the Messiah came.
Correct.
Behold, one greater than Solomon is here. So that's what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But how have you been able to use the same a strategy with your sons that Solomon used with his sons?
For one, studying my sons and understanding how they receive information. Like I was saying earlier today in class, I cannot give the information, say the same thing. I have to say the same thing in different ways to my sons. Cause
is it the same message? Though?
Same message.
Okay.
Same message, but I would kind of use a different example for my oldest than I will my youngest, because they receive information different ways. So even when we look at the Proverbs, you can see the writings saying the same thing, but it's said in a different way. The message is the same, but it may use a different example. In some cases, the way you were saying how when it was talking about the woman, it leads to hell. You know, one it leads to death.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's saying the same thing. So I say the way I convey that message is using the scriptures and then giving it to them in a way that is palatable for them. So that's how I relay the information.
No, that's good because it's not necessarily this one size fits all.
Okay.
You have to cater the message based on the hearer, and the purpose of that communication is to get them to respond effectively, affirmatively to what you're giving to them, and that will lessen their impact or being impacted by this system. So, we dealt with that. Then we jumped over there to Numbers chapter 2 that talked about how the sons are going, like all the children of Israel, they're going to align in the house of their father underneath a standard and an ensign. So we have to have a standard for our houses. I think that is misnomer and error. This is just my thoughts. That for men to try to correct other men before they try to deal with their own houses. Right?
Absolutely.
Because that's the standard. The standard is you lift up that standard and a sign. The sign is your family.
Yes.
Stop talking to me about doctrinal points and what you feel I should eat. I don't give a damn. How is your family?
Yes.
Do you have that sign where you have been a good son and you've been able to encourage your sons to follow after you in the same way? So what are some of the standards that you say are necessary for the house of Yirmiyahu that you try to get get your sons to follow after and to walk in?
So most definitely Torah first and foremost, but Torah it encapsulates everything that all the standards that I have for my family, like honesty, integrity, being in a position to serve, and as well being able to receive. All these standards that we have in our home are really based off Torah. No coveting. Man, but more keeping Yah first. There's so many standards that we do have, but it's all Torah based.
Well, hold on. Let me jump in there.
Okay.
I don't like to have these religious conversations, and I don't think that we do when we say, tell them to listen to Yah first. Please break that down into more manageable chunks so that people, like so much of that is subjective. Okay. So
when I say listen to Yah first, I'm saying listen to me.
So you're Yah. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not Yah, but I have the direct line to the Father.
Okay.
I'm more in a position of that line to communicate with the Father and listen to what He's communicating with me than more so my son.
Right.
So he's in a mode of learning right now, and as he studies me, he will learn how to communicate with the Father when it's his time.
Because they have to be instructed and taught.
And have to be taught first.
How to meet, how to prepare themselves.
Absolutely.
To even interface with the Most High. That's not something that you're born with.
No,
you're born with a couple things. You're born knowing how to grasp and how to root. Outside of that, you learn. So you're saying that no, you're not Yah, but you're teaching him through example and instruction on how to interface and connect with Yah.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I'm saying. But I know because like I said, my sons are not just studying me; they study their uncle. They study the elders as well that I have them around, and they constantly see these interactions. When we talk about certain things, they love to be flies on the wall and listen and see the things come to fruition. That the men of renown who I'm around, when they speak things, how it happens.
Yes.
And they're like, man, how did that happen? And that's all with that interface with the Father. Where we have life and death in our tongue. We're going to speak life or we're going to speak death. And a lot of times they well, let me regress. They see it modeled. They see that the words that's been said. They see what's been decreed, and then they see it come to fruition.
Yeah.
So now they can be like, oh man, my father has a higher understanding of what we're reading, and I see the father is interfacing with him. So I guess that's how it's being taught in our homes. Because I know that's the way you teach it in your home as well.
Yes.
But back to those standards, that is one of the standards. But
before you go back to standards, let me
go ahead.
In there. Remember that standards.
Uh-huh.
That by them seeing you exact a certain model, and then it comes to pass, that builds their faith in wanting to follow that same process.
Yes.
When they see that, okay, the Creator is validating the words of my Father, makes me want to listen to my Father, so that the Creator will be able to, so he'll be able to hear me.
Yes, absolutely. And it even works in when you see them about to make a bad decision, and then you speak like, look, this is what's about to happen. If you make this decision, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
A, B, C, and D, in this order. And when they make that bad decision, they see it happens A, B, C, D. They're like,
It builds the trust.
It builds the trust, and I can trust his word in whatever he says. So I know you have a lot of examples of that as well. That would happen with your son.
Signs and wonders.
Absolutely.
Signs and wonders. So, you know, that's the thing about faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a time where you have to have some substantive proof. There has to be something that's verifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you say you believe and the Father will respond to you and you're in this covenant relationship, there has to be some boxes that we can check, something that you've decreed from a position that reflects him, that is now manifested in the earth, which says that, okay, this person has a God-like nature, just like the Most High, his own representative on the earth, which is what he wanted.
Absolutely. That's exactly what he wanted. And we can look at, we always go back to Abraham, and we can see that all through the story of Abraham, how he decreed certain things, and it was. Mm-hmm. Like, and before he went to Egypt, I heard you on your live the other day, you even give that example of having his Isha say that, no, you're my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll truly try to kill me for you.
Yeah.
So, and he seen that, she saw it once she got to that place. Mm-hmm. And not only that, when he was
be well with me.
So to be well with me. And he got great. Well. He got great substance out of it.
Yes, he did.
He actually. It's to be said that that's where he got Hagar, mm-hmm. in Egypt.
Yeah.
From that, and he was able to produce a son.
Right.
From that situation.
From that situation, and Mama Sarah understood that Hagar was her property.
Mm-hmm.
She was Abraham's property. When the prophecy came forth, she, kind of stumbled in her belief and said, wait a minute. Just like I belong to him, she belongs to me. If the seed... Hold on, my cat trying to jump up here. No, Tigers. If the seed comes through an extension of me, that's still me. Mm-hmm. So here now, you go ahead and take Hagar to produce seed.
Help me, bro.
As a helpmeet, she was helping Abraham meet the vision. Now, some people may say, well, she should have just kept believing God, whatever. Yeah, I find no fault in anything that my grandmother did. I don't find fault in that. I don't look at it that way. I'm more or less looking at it from the aspect of knowing possessions. Mm-hmm. Just like Rachel and Leah.
Yes.
They had Bilhah and Zilpah. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to give them to you to help increase you, Tigress. Tigress, get down, please. Thank you. My cat she's so affectionate. She's a straight killer though. That's why I named her Tigress. She take care of all of the lizards. She kills birds. I mean, you name it. She be on it. But she wants to be under me. So, good. So now we kind of dealt with that. Let's go ahead and go back to it wasn't structure. It was standard. Let's go back and deal with the standard.
The banner of our home, because that's in that instance, that standard meant like a banner,
Yes.
or a flag. You know, when you have a banner, when you see it, you know what it stands for.
Right.
So a few things, like I was saying, honesty, integrity, being in a position of submission. We have to be ready. My family, we're always ready to serve, and I always get them in that mindset. They're like, look, we're servants first. We're here to serve our brothers and sisters, and you're going to get everything you need from serving. You're going to get wives. You're going to get children. You're going to get substance from giving your service. And they have an understanding of that you know, our house is a house that's known to serve. Right. That's what we're here for. So those are just some of the standards that we have. I can go through plenty more. A lot of our standards will be more so aligned, because as an Israelite man, you have to have certain standards that you stand on.
Okay.
So, what about you, bro? What are some of your standards for your home?
You know, I require sacrifice.
Okay.
I require obedience. Because these are the things that I've tried to display and to focus on, even to my own hurt, when it may not have been, you know, quote unquote beneficial for me in the short term. However, obedience is always beneficial, because you can't see from that elevated position. So when things have been proposed to me that I did not see why it was necessary to perform, instead of me questioning, instead of me vacillating, going back and forth, man, I just do.
Yeah.
When I know that it's from above, I don't have a lot of lag time or period of adjustment. And part of that is from my military background. When you got new orders, you got new orders. You did it on the spot. It didn't matter if they told us we finna march, you know, 30 kilometers in this direction. We have to go over here to do this extraction, whatever. We're going in that direction. You could be halfway down the road, marching with a 4-pack and soft sand. You're headed that direction. Once you get new orders, we're going back to base. We have, you know, another mission. You go do it.
Yeah.
So I've been able to transition and translate that into my obedience for the Most High, as well as the obedience with my family.
Okay.
That those are things that I require. I require, you know, honesty, integrity, fealty, respect, generosity, kindness, loving, gentleness, meekness. I mean, those things that the Most High exemplifies. Like, you look at the characteristics of the Father, even the characteristics of the Messiah. You know, he was an austere man, yet he was still kind and gentle. He was unassuming, which is why when you know, they came to capture the Messiah, they had to have Judas like point him out. He's very unassuming, but when he opened his mouth, we looking for him. I am he. Whew. Everybody just fell out because the power resides in a vessel that's submissive to the power of all powers. Okay. And it's not, you know, for show or for fashion. However, there will be a show. But it's not for your own personal aggrandizement and benefit. It's for the Father to get the glory out of your life. So that's what I put out there as a standard for my family. I believe that they should be excellent.
Man, you said something that just stuck with me, that sacrifice. Being sacrificial. And in being sacrificial, a sacrifice shouldn't feel good when you got to give something up. And you know, and I you know, my assumption when it comes to by the sacrifice of sin during those days, it shouldn't feel good when you got to give up something out of your house. You're losing something. Yeah, that shouldn't feel good. You know, livestock that you've been raising
that could have gone toward the increase of your house, you now have to give because of your own indiscretion, because of your error, lack of judgment and discipline. Man, lack of discipline will cost you every time.
Yes, it will. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another question for you, Aki. I know another aspect that we were talking about was in that Matthew 25 when we started off with that. That the aspect of being prepared. What do you have to say to that preparedness, and being and assuming that
Well,
when rather.
You know the Matthew 24
Yeah,
about end times, because we was in Matthew 5:48 about be perfect.
And then we went to the five virgins.
Yeah, we went to the. Oh yeah,
that was at the beginning of the class.
Yeah, right. We was all over.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the class.
We was all over the place. We dealt with the parable of where the Messiah likened the kingdom of heaven unto 10 virgins. 5 wise,
5 foolish,
5 foolish, and we've heard this on a myriad of different occasions, but we never put ourselves in that scenario. Like, you want to make sure that you look at yourself as being virgin soil, not having been penetrated by this dominant system.
Okay.
And that requires that you go back, unlearn all of the lies in the mind, because that's where the battleground is. And if you're not prepared to wage that battle, you're not going to be able to wage it physically. Because the Messiah said, if you look upon a wife to lust after her, you've committed adultery in your heart already. Because in your mind, you've already done it. You've gone through the sequence of events. You know how you going to do whatever you're going to do, handle that wickedness. So if we can begin to see ourselves as those virgins with oil in our lamps that have not been penetrated by this system, that's what we don't want to be. And so even if we have not been penetrated by the system, which we all have a level of agreement with this system, because this system is all encompassing, all inclusive. Dr. Neely Fuller talks about it in his work, the 9 different levels in which white supremacy exists: education, entertainment, economics, labor law, politics, religion, sex, and war. Those are the 9 areas. So you really can't escape it.
Yeah.
You can't escape those things. But if you renew your mind, I'm not going to say that you end up becoming this born again virgin. We're not going to do that. But I'm saying that you have to denounce and reduce the impact of the penetration from the system and go back and be new in your thinking. Kind of reset that. And when you do that, then now I have to look at myself as like, do I have the necessary oil, which is the spirit, which is just being able to produce, having something that can produce and sustain light, that can sustain a flame. You know what I mean? Do you have that cognitive spark, that spiritual spark that can produce for a sustained period? A lot of people got the spark.
Yes.
That initial inspiration, but it's not sustainable. So when they ask for oil from the other ones that were wise, they're like, I don't have enough for me and you.
What do they tell them to do?
Go buy your own.
So when you say that, people say there's no location salvation. How you put that?
No salvation. No location salvation.
No location salvation, right? So when you even look at that story, those 5 that were foolish were not in place. They were not in the right location.
Yeah.
So guess what? They didn't receive salvation.
And they ended up staying there too.
That's right.
Because the other ones actually left that position. The 5 that were wise. And this is not advocacy for polygyny, but you just kind of look at that the Messiah equated the kingdom of heaven to this.
Yes.
And like, whether you believe in it or not, practice it or not, it's irrelevant. If you have the mindset to say that that's not right, then you're not ready for the kingdom.
That's right.
You have been penetrated by this system that has turned you against what your Messiah has equated the kingdom to. So, you know, it doesn't matter what anybody think, feel, or believe. That's what he says, and he is the King of Kings.
Yes.
That's going to reign and rule in that place. So the objective is to get your mind in the place where his mind was. So that you're like one of those virgins that's there waiting. But if you like, I ain't thinking about him, and oh, he gonna take her too, then I ain't going. Okay. You ain't gotta go.
You ain't gotta go.
It's not for you. So I don't try to speak to that. If I do and when I do, it's simply to get your mind around the thought that this is also in the Brit Hadashah.
Cain.
That's all.
Yes, absolutely. Or
the New Testament, New Covenant. Not saying that it's not commanded. Anybody got to do it. Like, stop that. Like, I've had some really weird conversations from people that it's clear that they've been penetrated by this system, and they become agents for this system because they advocate for what their abductors, captors, and kidnappers advocate for versus what their fathers advocated for.
Yes. Well, that goes to what we were speaking about in class as well, when you begin to talk about what the Honorable Elder Murray taught us in one class about being an inside man.
Woo.
And
that's
being,
a whole class right there.
Well, absolutely. And when you're inside, man, you value what's in the inside, your family, your father's word, your mother's word.
And that analogy was substratum or based on, Esau and Jacob.
Yes.
You know what Esau was? He was an outside. He was a hunter. He was influenced by the environment.
Canaanites.
Them Canaanites. And you out there, you looking at them like, man, look at her. And see,
I know the father told me I don't supposed to bring one home, but what? She looking real.
We can handle that out there. We ain't got to come back home.
That's right. Looking thick in them nether regions.
Right. So the more so for men, we got to make a covenant with our eyes.
Absolutely.
And not look upon, these women, because the more you look at something, the more you desire. The more you look at it, the more you desire it. The more desirous it is to you. And so I tell my sons, you can't lust after anything that you don't see.
Well, I think the quote in Dr. Gina, Iman Gina's book sums it up.
What she said?
The quote where she said, when you look upon the daughter of Zion, you should automatically assume that
I read that. Yeah.
Yeah, you read it the other day. That she's what?
She belongs to her father or
another man. So, and if you look upon the daughters of Zion like that, you can't. You're like, I can't look at her like that. So, but go ahead, bro. That came up. That came up with my thoughts, brother.
No, that's a phenomenal point. And that was an encouragement to modern men.
Yes.
These modern Hebrew men. Stop sliding in sisters' DMs. If you're interested in a sister, do a little bit of research. See if she got a father. See if she got an elder.
That should be the first question you ask her if you talk to her. One of the first, outside of what your name.
I would prefer an introduction.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? That would never be something that I would do or advocate that my sons would do. Is to go in anybody's DMs and no, man. Well, that's kind of lame to me. I'm just gonna say.
Hey, we're a different breed, brother.
Right. That's lame to me.
We're a different breed.
But I understand that brothers don't have access.
Yeah.
But maybe you don't need to have access. They not in your circle. How can you verify that? Corroborate anything that's being said? I'm just gonna listen to the Ruach. I'm gonna listen to the Spirit.
All right,
man.
Oh man, this sounds like church to me.
That's what you want to do. Hey, far be it for me to tell you what to do. I'm not saying that, but there is a more excellent way.
It is,
and I believe that, like you said, the Honorable Dr. Murray and the RTA family has showed us a better way. Where we believe that we come in covenant with other men. These men have daughters. We have sons. We link arms together.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So now these two families become one through mutual interest. Yeah. And if it's it could be. What advice would you give a young woman?
A young woman, as far as
maybe she's interested in maybe she's uncovered.
Okay.
And she just wants to be covered.
if she wants to be covered, first thing I would do, I would advise. Well, I don't want to advise no young women anyway, but just my thoughts.
It's all just, we're just sharing your thought. We're not giving anybody that level of advice.
I would say first.
Well, you know what? Scratch that. How have you seen it done in a way that may be beneficial?
Okay. First, going to the person, whoever you're under, whether it be a spiritual father, a spiritual mother, or whether it is your physical father or your physical mother, whether it be your moray, something in that along those lines who can speak on your behalf in order to vet whatever man that is approaching you. I think that would be the best way that I have seen. But that's even hard, because even in some of the situations I've even seen,
and we
I ain't gonna speak on. I'm gonna leave it
we
alone.
Seen some situations, boy.
I'm not even gonna speak. I'm just leaving it alone. I think that's probably the best way for outside of what we're doing. I would say that would be the best advice I could give.
What? I didn't hear.
The advice: hopefully you'll have someone over you, whether it be your physical father, your physical mother, whether it be your spiritual father, your spiritual mother, who can vet that man, who can vet the man for you, and go about it that way. Because you need a covering, ladies.
Yeah.
You have to have a covering. You don't see any women in the Bible uncovered outside of harlots.
And we're getting back to that.
Okay.
We're getting back to that. There's the prerequisite understanding is going out slowly, but surely is going out. And I'm just so thankful and bless Yah that I'm alive,
Hallelujah.
and I'm well, and I am in the faith of my fathers, not in the belief system of my oppressors. And it's not about a this or that. It's just a coming to, and from the terms of identity. I know who I am.
And
it was important for them to take the identity component away from us so that they could give us a thing that's not in our best interest, but in their best interest, and maintain the power structure for them versus empowering us as a people.
Bro, when you brought me the word of who we are and gave me identity, that's what stuck. That was the main sticking point that began to convert me into to be who I am today. It was that identity. So identity is very, very important, because, like you say, I knew I wasn't quote unquote African. I most definitely knew I wasn't African American. But when the word came to me that I was an Israelite, boy, that came with weight. And I knew. I tried to play hokey pokey, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like I did when I was part of the Christian church to a degree. You know what I'm saying? But it just, that weight was just on me, like, nah, you can't do that. You're either gonna be all in, you're gonna be just keep doing what you're doing.
That's a whole message right there.
Yeah, man. And I chose to be all in, man. And hallelujah, I thank the Father.
You ain't one of them lukewarm lights.
No, I ain't no lukewarm light, bro. I'm on fire.
All right, man. Well, blessings to you, Yirmiyahu, man. You know your brother loves you.
Hey, man, I love you too,
and
brother.
I appreciate you coming by. You know, Shabbat Shalom to you. Shabbat Shalom for
Shabbat
everybody
Shalom.
for joining to us or joining with us.
Yeah.
I am Haji Golightly. This is
son of-
Yirmiyahu, and we are the sons of William.
That's right.
Who is the son of Daniel.
That's
Who
right.
is the son of Freeman.
Yeah.
Who is the son of George.
Hallelujah.
Hold on. And we got a son of, come here, boy, get on camera. This is a son of,
In his white tee.
in his white tee. This is the son of Dawid. What's your name?
Isaiah. Yeshayahu.
All right, man. Love y'all.
Love you, man.
Bless y'all. Shalom, shalom.